Knowing how to think empowers you far beyond those who know only what to think. Quote of the day. Let's get right to it. Let's start off with Bitcoin. And we're going to look at the 4-hour chart, then zoom out to the bigger scales and, give you a wrap up what we need to be watching for the next several days to even the next several weeks. So if you liked the video today, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Patreon and our private Telegram to get more content. So let's go right to it. The 4-hour, right? You can see what we're doing here. We're marching up, going to consolidation, marching up, going to consolidation, right? This is absolutely healthy. So far, so good. What we don't want to do is kind of give that stair step back and come back down. So if we do that this is the 4-hour chart, so lower time frames. But if we start to roll over here and take out these lows, which it seems like the odds are starting to tip that way, then our next consolidation level will be our target, somewhere between, I would say, like 21.5 all the way down to like 20,500, right? These lows in here, right? So that would be our next target. So looking at the 4-hour chart, I posted, late yesterday on Twitter that we have a potential bullish pennant, right? When you have this move up and then these tops right here, and then this top here, right? Converging lines is a pennant, right? You could have a symmetrical triangle, but it tends to be, more sharp, more 90-degree angle-ish, right? So bullish pennant tends to continue in the direction that it formed, right? So here's your flagpole, right? The pennant plays out, but I said invalidation kind of right underneath that, right? This lower close is what you're looking for. So we're kind of, starting to edge towards, invalidation, right? Which we've closed below that kind of line. You've closed outside of the pennant now. Not likely, right? So what do we have now? Well, patterns can morph. So it doesn't mean you lose everything altogether. But so now we're looking at two different scenarios that we need to be watching for the next, day or so, maybe even the next couple of hours. So they're both leaning a little bit more bearish. So one would be kind of this M topping pattern, right? You can kind of loosely see this. Same thing. You want to look for kind of the neckline right here. This close 22.5. I give it a little bit of leeway, maybe even the EMA 34, right? If we lose that, then we're probably, the odds just go up, right? That's all you have in crypto is the odds of going back down to this kind of level down here, right? So this kind of zone becomes the new target. If we lose this, that's what I'd be looking for. What about our next kind of pattern, right? Next pattern is kind of this maybe, also bearish. But maybe this takes us out a little bit longer. Maybe this takes more time to form. Descending triangle, right? So maybe we bounce up over the next couple of hours or the rest of today, right? You can see this might take us into the weekend, right? If this plays out a little bit longer. So watch for those two things and, watch for a break. We could get it by the time you're watching this video, right? If we've closed, right? How do you know if we've closed? Put on the closing price right here. If we take out this low, the odds are going up for us coming back here. Now, is that a problem? No, it's not a problem at all. In the bigger time frames, that's almost what you want to do to remain healthy, right? So let's go look at that. Let's zoom out to the daily and see what we got, right? A lot of indecisiveness here. Doji candles, right? Bulls and bears pulling back and forth here. So no big deal, right? Looks very similar to back here. So let's zoom out a little bit, right? So if we come down, we're still good. If step one to remain the most bullish, hold your EMA 8, right? That EMA 8 as of now is 22,174 and dropping, right? This will start to move down as this price comes down here, but we could easily bounce off as we did right here, right? You want to look for patterns that coins do and bounces that they tend to like. Some coins like different moving averages than others. I think we looked at Chainlink yesterday and it likes the 21 EMA on the kind of the 4-hour chart. So note that where coins lifted off from the previous moves. Bitcoin, right, to remain mostly bullish, you want to hold these upper moving averages, the EMA 8, the EMA 14. You might wonder what the hell this pink one is. That's a big one, right? That's the 200-day EMA. And that's why we had a little bit of issue getting off from it, but bulls came out big, and that's where we are. So if we come back down, that would be kind of the line in the sand that we really do need to hold to remain more macro bullish for the next several weeks. So that number right now, about 21K. It'd probably be really close to 21K even if we get down there over the next handful of days, maybe even a week or two, right? Could take some time. Nothing goes straight up or straight down. So we're looking at that for the kind of the fail safe for the bull run to really maybe kick off, right? So maybe we kind of mosey on down here, then hold it. Maybe we do another one of these gigs, just hold that 200. That'd be fine. And then we can, make our next move, maybe into February, something like that, right? All right, so let's zoom out to a bigger picture. The weekly. Do we have anything going on here? Well, it looks more peaceful here, right? Maybe we just retest the EMA 34, right? That's 21.2 or 22.2, excuse me. The EMA 34 right here. Maybe we come down here. Maybe we see a wick. I mean, you got to watch this. If we lose kind of this EMA 34, right? Weekly chart right here where we kind of hesitated. That close is 20. We're still right at 21K, right? Beyond that, you have your 21-week moving average, right? Tends to be the line in the sand for bullish power. Now that is increasing week over week. So if that takes till, another month from now, we're probably going to be at 21K, right? So, this takes some time to play out on the weekly. To the upside, well, we have, a glaring, we talked about this a couple days ago, the 200 week, right there. And the 50 week, kind of a double whammy. We're looking at that. And not only that, how about triple whammy? Let's do triple whammy. Looking at this top, right? Probably going to be all very, very kind of in the same kind of zone here, right? And that is like just above 24K to 25K. Huge resistance zone there on the macro big weekly time frame. So I would expect pretty heavy resistance in there. Not that we can't wick higher, but a closing candle before more of a cool off time. That seems like the logical place based on TA. So TA is not meant to predict anything. It's just meant to help you, understand what happened in the past and possibly see what could happen in the future. So that's it. On the monthly, let's look at the bigger picture. Where are we? We're at the EMA 8 on the monthly, right on it. Right, that's 22,570 as of right now. And what's the price? 22.6. So we're really close. When's the last time we closed above the EMA 8? I'm glad you asked. Let's take a look. You might be debatable, right? Sometimes you're like, well, did we close right there? Where did we close at? Just put on the closing prices, right? And I would say that held pretty good, even though technically we closed just above it. Really, the last monthly candle, we closed with authority above the EMA 8, the Pico top right there, November 2021, right? That was it. That was our last closing. That closed under, closed on it. Under, right? So this would be huge if we could close this. It's less than a week now. 6 days, 10 hours. We close this on the monthly. Will we break the EMA 8 or are we going to have another ipso facto debate? Right? We'll see. I would love to close higher. Maybe at the 50 month. That would be huge, right? That's kind of where we initially fell off our big fall down, right? And then we held, kind of bounced back up here and then closed back down again. So 50 month right now, 24.2. So we have 22.5 and 24.2 to remain on the biggest picture. I'd love to close above the EMA 8 to remain, bulls in charts. So that's what we're looking like. Hopefully you liked the video. Let's get to card of the day. We did quote of the day. Let's see if I can click the right one. There you go. CLK GTR, one of the rarest Mercedes ever made. And there's only a handful now, if that. I actually saw, I'm guessing this car in person because there's only like 2 in the United States, at the Concours d'Elegance. It's probably the same damn car. About 5 years ago, I saw it. It absolutely blows my mind in person. If you feel like you could probably jump over it, it's like 3 feet tall. To get in this is a super tiny door. It's like a race track version. The most impressive thing about this car, if you don't know, it has its own built-in suspension system lift. So you can press a button, and the guy did this for me to demonstrate it. It was on concrete like this, but at a show, and these like pistons come out of the bottom of the car, lift the entire car up, so you can change the wheels and tires in place. So no jacks required. You just push a button, the whole thing lifts up about a foot, and you can do whatever you need to do. Impressive, and it does it really quick for about as old as this thing is. And not only that, but another thing that blew my mind is when this door is open, most cars have like that little threshold you try to kick your feet over, the kick plate. It's like a couple inches wide. This thing is like 30 inches wide. It's like a bench in there to get across. You have to like sit on it and then slide in. The seat's like 3 feet in here. Pretty impressive. Look at that roof scoop. One of the most insanely designed cars of its time for sure. Even in modern day, looks absolutely still spectacular, in my opinion. Then you got, New Age creeping up right behind you there. You see that? All right, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Remember, hit a thumbs up if you haven't. I appreciate you being around this long if you have. Sentences and grammar work well.